Hey guys, happy Sunday. I hope you guys are having a grand Sunday. Welcome again to our newer time, this 2 p.m.-ish. So hopefully you guys are enjoying it. Let me know. And let me know what you guys have cooked up for today, what you guys have planned for this week, any shenanigans you guys been up to this weekend, or any cool downloads or healing you guys have done. Definitely let me know. But before we dive into everything, if you don't know who I am Tarot with Kittens, Weights, and Tarot. You can learn a little bit more about me by checking out the information box down below, checking out my website, kittensweightsandtarot.com, maybe checking out the Witchy Shop Desert Cauldron over on Etsy, or checking out ways to support the channel. So thank you to all of the newest members that I have over on Patreon and my YouTube members. Thank you so very much. So yeah, we have some good stuff as always cooked up for you guys today. Looks like our buddy Roger over already here. What's up? And Costalini, oh my gosh, new member. Wow, thank you so very much. That is awesome. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and say hello to some of our YouTube members. And thank you to the 10,900 and some change thousand subscribers. So thank you guys for supporting the channel. All the people that watch the Monday videos, come hang out with us in the Sunday live chats. Thank you so much. And thank you to my YouTube members, like I was saying. First, Costalini, thank you. Kayla and Nancy and Jonathan Cleese and Jolene and Duality Tales and Sea Captain 8611. Thank you. And to my beautiful patrons, Lily and Dana and Jamie and Kayla and Sugna Baby, Brandy, Jason, Brian, Paulu, Crystal, Easy Does It, Joel, 1111, Casey Gritter, Oz, and Ashley. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for all of your support. Roger Over says, looking so pretty. Well, thank you. I thought I would get, gussied up today. Time Harvest says, Tara, you're on the blue avian vibes today. I see it. I feel it. Dude, I feel it. Costalini says, we got to keep you fed. Well, thank you. Got to keep the creator alive and well. So thank you so much. Time Harvest says, cool experience I had yesterday. We'll tell you. Well, do tell. Mind over number. Hello, grand day to y'all. Same to you as well. And Time Harvest saying thank you for all the subscribers. Yes, thank you guys so very much. There is a special video coming out for you guys tomorrow. Now, this video was voted on exclusively by my YouTube members and my Patreon members, and it's something that I do every month. They get an exclusive channeling. They get to vote on what they want to see, and then later on, I always release it to the public. So that video that they voted on about a month ago, which was channeling mirrors. So mirrors as portals, is there, something to mirrors? Some people, they put blankets and stuff over their mirrors because they feel like things come through the mirrors. I know that there's a lot of horror flicks that do things with mirrors and The Shining and things like that. So what is it about mirrors and humans, and even animals and babies? There's this fascination with our reflection. And before there was mirrors, there was looking into ponds and lakes and rivers and streams and just seeing and witnessing our reflection. And is it just merely a reflection, or is it something deeper? Is it a portal into 4D or something more? So definitely check out that channeling that we did for Patreon and our YouTube members, and that is coming out tomorrow, 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Definitely check it out. But speaking of channelings, you guys have a channeling today for this live chat, voted on by you homies. So for everybody who's new, every Thursday, I put out a channeling poll, and that poll is a public poll that is on my YouTube's channel page, but I also put it out for my Patreon members and my YouTube members. So technically, if you're a patron or YouTube member and there's something that you want to see during the Sunday live chat and you're really aching to see it, your votes can help to push what is seen during that Sunday live chat. And sometimes it does come down to the wire where it's like so close what like the public wants to see and what Patreon and YouTube members want to see. It'll be like so close. So the votes really do matter. So for this week, for today, I am going to be channeling the Andromedans. Now, I know that there are a lot of species within the Andromeda galaxy, in the technical 3D galaxy, but also in the 4D and above galaxy. You know, there's layers to everything. And of the beings that I have connected to in Andromeda, I've always seen them in a particular light. I don't know if I will connect to a different type of being within the Andromedan galaxy, or if I'm going to continue to connect to the beings that I have before, which are the beings that say that they are molting at the moment. They're like this like crystalline looking being, kind of like a human form, but they're full of like Swarovski crystals, you know. It's beautiful. So I don't know who or what I'm going to connect to through that, but a lot of you wanted a channeling of that, so we are going to do that right after our weekly reading. And then after our channeling, you know, if you guys still have, you know, some questions, maybe some personal questions, I will do super chats and super stickers for those one card draws if you guys are interested. And then afterwards, we'll do our channeled guided meditation. So lots of good stuff cooked up for you guys. I am playing, by the way, with my green screen. I have all this like fancy camera equipment, you know, that I used to set up like studios in people's homes, and I used to set up studios for when I took pictures for sports teams. Because, as many of you know, I was an educator for a long time. I was a high school teacher, but I was also a track and field coach. And since I was a coach and I was friends with all these other coaches, I figured, hey, why go to Life Touch, which is basically the people that all school districts have contracts with to like take school pictures and take sports pictures. I was like, you know, for you could just have one of your other coaches take the pictures since I am a professional photographer. They were like, okay. So anyway, I have all this like equipment left over from that, and I like to play with it once in a while. So green screen. No, psych. I'm actually in the galaxy. All right. Let's see. Let's go back here. Roger was wondering what the plan was for today, so hopefully I was able to express eloquently what we have on our agenda, if we have an agenda. And Time Harvest says, do you know what the trap spirits, do you know about the trap spirits in here? Like people who are low in life, like addicts, etc. They die and stay stuck in here for a while. You know, that's an interesting topic, and I have connected to like many of my own family members that had issues with addiction. There are family members that had left this world due to suicide, and as I tap in, it's every soul is different, you know, unique, and what they experience on the other side is unique. So I don't feel like a general blanket statement saying, oh, if you did this in life, then this is going to be your afterlife. Because it depends on the consciousness, you know, what level of consciousness that being was in, not their ego, but like the soul, the spirit. So there are some spirits that know that nothing could ever trap it. Like, you know, you know, some people say, oh, I sold my soul to the devil, whatever. Only if you believe that, you know, only if you willingly give your power away to something could it ever lord over you and like hold on to you. So if something truly believes once they cross over that I'm trapped here, I'm stuck here, there's no way out, then that's going to be true for them until they come to a realization that that's not true. They can leave anytime they want. Now there's that, and of course there's layers to all of that. So I feel, and this is all from my perspective, by the way, I'm not like, I don't know everything. Obviously, I'm only human. But of the beings I've connected with, some also talk about there being like energies that don't really have consciousness. It's just like video stuck on repeat. So like, as let's say something really tragic happened in an area, and people report seeing like, oh, at 3 o'clock, I always see this spirit go in and make coffee or something like that, you know. And It could be that that is being that actually has consciousness and it's just repeating something that it did in life over and over again, and doesn't know yet that it's just a fragment of itself. It could go back to source at any time. Or it could also be that it's a being that doesn't have consciousness and it's just an imprint of energy. Like you're just witnessing a replay of something, but that's all it is. It's like you're just watching a video of something, but nothing in there actually has consciousness. Or it could be a mixture of the two, or it could be something else entirely. But that's just kind of what I've learned. And I do know that we're all just like fragments of ourselves. So, there's piece of my soul right now is talking to you. There's a piece of my soul that there's pieces in the past, there's pieces in the future, there's pieces in all different timelines. We're kind of all over the place. But yeah, that's just, I guess, from my perspective. But I encourage you guys to also chime in as well. Hundwander, hello, hello, welcome. Roger Over says, Andromedans are so cool. Which ETs are your favorite? I would have to say Andromedans. I mean, that's kind of why I put that in the poll, because I wouldn't say I've connected to like hundreds of, different ETs, but of the ones I have connected to, I just really like Andromedans. And I don't even know what to call that species of Andromedan that I'm connecting to, because I hate to say Andromedans. It's like saying Milky Way beings. Like there's probably different beings within the Milky Way, us being one of them, So I probably wouldn't call us Milky Wayans. Anyway, and let's see, Riley saying, Hola, Hundwander. And Time Harvest says, nice picture, Riley. Ever watched Stargate SG-1? I love me my Star Trek stuff. Time Harvest says, good stuff, I believe. Hey, our buddy John is here. What's up? So yeah, I was going to go out into the forest today to film, but the weather is a little sketch right now with rain and everything. And I suppose I could go do it in the rain, but I just would need a little bit more setup. So I decided I want to play with my green screen. So, so here we are. And plus I get to play with, I never really get to, do my videos using my desktop computer. Usually I'm on my cell phone. So this is kind of cool where like I get to see your comments like right there, which is pretty sweet. So anyway, I hope you guys are having a fantabulous day. Time Harvest says, which galaxy is that in the background? I believe this is the Andromedan galaxy. Yes? Yes. Let's see. Roger says, I'm excited for that Sasquatch video. Yes, we have the second one. Definitely got to do a third one. I love those beings. I mean, there's so many beings out there, so many energies, and it's hard to say like, oh, this energy is my favorite, because technically all is one, right? It's like picking a favorite of yourself. But yeah, I like the Sasquatch as well. Time Harvest says, yes, in my country, the mediums believe these spirits are all around, the ones who got addicted or lowly and stay around obsessing over people who have the same addictions. Hard to grasp, very complex. Yes, lots of layers. And Time Harvest is like, wait, what about the Lyrians? I haven't forgot about the Lyrians, bro. Of course, I love me some Lyrians. But I don't know. Yeah, like I said, I guess I can't really pick favorites. I think as far as like feeling the energy and channeling it, the beings that I've connected with in Andromeda, I just feel really good. The Lyrians, I also like connecting with them. But they leave me feeling like I just ate 100 candy bars. Their energy is so like, yay, like let's go up and do something. Let's do this. And my energy is already like that. So after a channel, it's like me times 100. I might be a little extra even for myself, but that doesn't mean I don't like channeling Lyrians. I do. I absolutely love their mindset, the way they grow, the way they heal, their outlook, on things. I think they're a wonderful species. And Time Harvest says, I thought your favorite would be either avian or Lyrian. Avian is really good too. Obviously, sometimes when I check in with myself, it is Blue Avian. So of course, I like connecting with them. But I like connecting with them when I'm ready to, I don't want to say, have my mind blown over and over again. So and then I always need a nice long downtime to like really integrate and figure out like what the heck was just channeled, because they're just like there's a lot going on up there. Okay, so let's see. Roger says, why is it the Andromedans? Their energy is very balanced, or is it their personality? It could be personality. Yes. um, okay, hold on. Let me go back here. Um, let's see. Johnson, maybe it's the androgynous galaxy. It could be. It could be. Hey, our friend 1111 is also here. What's up, dude? Mind over number. It says, oh, we giving shout outs, Pleiadians for the win. Yeah, shout out your fave homies of the ET persuasion. um, that's pretty awesome, actually. Okay, so without further ado, let's go ahead and start slinging some cards for this week and see what we got cooked up for it. And then afterwards, let's do a little bit of channeling. So I have myself a little tea here. You guys might like this mug. Hold on. Turn it around for you. I got this as a birthday gift a while back, but it has me, it has my name. It has my cat Presley, who passed away, hence why he has little wings, because he's a little angel now. And then my cat Loki and my cat Wally. And yes, they're not here in Arizona. They are with their dad, but they're still my babies. So they're sitting with me on the dock. And then on the back it says, you had me at meow. And I have this little tea bundle in here. It's Navajo tea, actually, and it's really good. And you can reuse this bundle like a bazillion times. It's just the tea that keeps on giving. Okay. So, for those of you that would like to slang some cards with us for this weekly reading, let me know what deck you are working with, or perhaps you are accessing your intuition by other means, other external tools, perhaps runes or pendulum, or however it is that you access your intuition, or maybe it's Sam's tools and you are just dropping straight into your soul, to source, and you are just channeling that information, in which case, let us know about that as well. Okay, so let me move my tea to the side. Let me show you what decks I have here. I doubt I'm going to use all of them, but I'll just show you what I'm working with. I have the Magical Hours Tarot, as this has become my favorite because it's all its foresty, animal-y goodness. I also have my Native Spirit Oracle. Boop, boop, boop. And the Sacred Medicine Oracle. Ooh, it's like my deck is floating in space right now. I also have my Herbal Astrology Oracle. And last but not least, my Wild Woman Rising. All right. Time Harvest's magical deck. Yes. So yeah, I will pull some cards from here. I think I'm going to do a little mix of cards for our weekly reading. And by the way, Time Harvest, if you want to share while we're slaying some cards, you said you had some happenings, some interesting happenings in the past week or past few days. Definitely share. Do tell. Do tell. Let's see. I want to use my Sacred Medicine. I'll do this one too. Hey, Lilia's here. What's up? Dead Man saying, can you tell me about my future life? Well, we don't really do so much predictions, but to show you what could be blocking you, perhaps, from achieving the things that you would like. So that you have power, you have control. You know, destiny isn't just some thing flying there and just by happenstance we happen upon things. There was one other deck I wanted to utilize. But we will do some super chats and super stickers if you're interested. And we'll do that after our channeling today. So stick around. Okay, I think I got the decks I want to work with. Okie dokie. Excellent. Yes, since Dead Man was saying, my name is Atul. Can you tell me about my future life and love life as well? Yeah, definitely. When we get to our super chat, super stickers, definitely stick around. Get it? Stick around. Okay, so for my Wild Woman Rising, I want to pick a card, something that we could embody, type of energy that we can embody, an archetype, so to speak, for this upcoming week. And then, of course, we'll get some clarifiers as to why we might want to embody that, or even why we might want to meditate on it, or just have a look-ski about it. But never, never, never will my higher self or anybody else's higher self tell you guys this is what you must do. You have free will. You choose what you'd like to do. And if something resonates, cool. If it doesn't, toss it out. Or at least ponder it. Okay, so let's pull a theme card as well. So I have a theme card here. Bada boom, bada bing. And an archetype card. Boom, boom, boom. And we'll pull a few cards from my favorite deck at the moment, Magical Hours Tarot, just to kind of clarify this upcoming week. Okay. Let's see. Time Harvest says, this being of light showed up. She sounded like that angelical being that talked to me 5 years ago. She was speaking in light language that I could understand. It sounded a bit French. And she gave me some sort of soul cleansing, some updates on my consciousness, in which I don't remember, but it's stored inside. Wow. What a powerful download. Whoa. And then Costalini said, cowboy energy. Didn't you get my cowboy Andromedan last time you channeled them? I think I did. I sure did. Dead Man says, not reading for free. The weekly reading is definitely free. The channeled guided meditation is definitely free. The channeling that we're going to be doing later is definitely free. All helped out by all the people that support the channel, all the subscribers. People wanting personal readings, I just ask for a donation for an even exchange. And that is all. So there isn't like a set, like, you must pay this. So it's just based on whatever you feel is appropriate. Costalini, Roger Over was asking Costalini if he is Andromedan. And Costalini says, she did a private channel for me. She got my Andromedan higher self like six months ago. Man, I love that energy. I love a lot of the ET energies. The ones that I'm not so keen on, arachnids, not my favorite. Mantids, also not my favorite. Grays, not to say that all those beings are negative polarity or anything. Obviously, there's light and shadow and everything. Just like there are positive polarity grays, and some are positive polarity reptilians and things like that. But the negative polarity ones, not my bag, baby. Costalini says 10 out of 10 would suggest. And Time Harvest says, I was extremely happy and buzzing, like extremely happy in innumerable ways as she showed up. You ever had this experience? Do you know what this was? And John Gross was asking about the tall whites. I don't think I've spent too much time connecting to their energy. But that would definitely be another interesting one to like really get in and connect with. As far as what Time Harvest was saying about like the kind of angelic being and upgrades, I feel like I've not experienced exactly, how you're describing it, but something like that, where you feel like this like high vibe, light, and there's a lot I don't remember, but you just know it's stored in there somewhere. And that's how I feel like with my channelings, even though I rarely remember what I've channeled, which is great when it's on video because I can go back and see what I channeled and what was said. But I feel like somewhere in there, everything that's meant to help me on my journey is stored in there, whether my conscious mind remembers it or not. Time harvest is the spider ones are like the prey versus the predator guys. Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. Okay, so let's take a look at this upcoming week. Let's take a look at the overarching theme first. Ooh, okay. We have seer, prophecy, and she's floating in outer space. Ooh. um, so let's tap into this one. Hmm. Okay. Interesting. Um, so what I was getting with that is not so much like for this upcoming week, it's not so much like let's say famous seers like Nostradamus and things like that. It's not so much like those type of predictions, I would say, like coming true this week, but more what you personally have felt. So that's going to be obviously different for everybody. Obviously, we're all living very different lives. We have different missions, different perspectives. We all have different reasons for being here. But if there's been something that's been like for you personally, like I just feel like something in my life is like I'm right there on the precipice. It's just about to happen. Not quite sure what it is, but I feel like I'm being led in this direction. I feel like it's right there. Um, that right there feeling for many is right there, like this week for those people. So for some people, it could be, something coming true as it pertains to like leveling up consciousness wise. So maybe there's an event that helps out with that. Maybe it could be, you know, running into the person that's, kind of becomes their person, for this next leg of the journey. It could be something to do with career, it could be something to do with family, but it feels like whatever you personally and I know there have been a lot of people saying, man, for me, I feel like this is just about to happen, but it's not so much like it's going to happen for the whole world, but it's happening for you personally. Like, I think that this is just about to happen, or I feel like it's so close, or I'm so close to like having a breakthrough and this like understanding of something. I'm so close to feeling like I'm truly stepping into my power. I feel like I'm so close to finally opening up my throat chakra and voicing more of my opinion and all of that. It feels like you have all the doors are open. It's ready for you this week. I'm like this close, like I'm almost right there for that new thing that I think is going to happen, but I can't quite express it. But I just feel it in my bones. I feel it in my heart that this thing is just about to happen. I mean, look at the girl; she's got her hands right there on her heart. Um, so it's not so much our ego saying, this should be happening for me right now because look at all the hours I've put into this and look at all, okay, yeah, there's, yes, the 3D world, but I'm talking more like the thing that your heart has been leading you towards and you've been feeling like it's right there. And it's for your best and highest good. Even sometimes when we feel like things are not so great, usually ends up making way for our best and highest good for new and better things. Oh, and something just popped out of outer space. It was coffee. Interesting. Space coffee. Interesting when space coffee just appears on the replicator. I wish I had a Star Trek replicator, but alas, I did not live on the Enterprise. Anyway, so that's our overarching theme. We'll get into some nitty gritty here with our individual tarot cards. So here we have the Page of Swords. We have the, wow, okay, Ace of Swords. All right, Swords energy. And then we have the Strength card. Hello, Lionsgate, that just occurred on the 8th, 8-8. 8-8 Lionsgate. But also, this is card number 8. And it's also my card, like my birth card is the Strength card. Okay, so let's have a little tap in. What does this have to do with us, like our personal prophecies, so to speak, being revealed to us this week? I just rhymed. I'm a poet and I didn't know it. Okay. Okay. All righty. All right. So what's coming in for me, just how I see things again, this just my higher self's interpretation, which is why I always encourage you guys to, offer up your downloads and messages as well. Just creates a more well-rounded reading. Sometimes when we're following our heart, following our soul, following source, God, whatever you want to call it, it's leading us in the direction that is for our best and highest good. We're going there, and then it's like you start to realize that, oh my gosh, I can kind of see what's happening here. Freaking dreams coming true. Like, this is great. This is great. It's almost like it's magic revealing itself before your eyes. But then what does our ego do? And again, I don't want to demonize our ego, but it's a program. So the ego's like, whoa, 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 whoa. If that dream comes true, which that hasn't come true for us before, therefore I don't have any background to help you with, I don't have any memory or anything to like work with to like help you through this miracle or through this uncharted territory. I can't be able to help you if something goes wrong. What if you fail? What if it doesn't turn out right? What if it doesn't pan out? The ego is just like, it's freaking out. And so it will do everything in its power to stop that miracle, stop your dreams from coming true, stop that, man, I feel like I'm just right there. I'm on the edge and, I'm just about ready to like just explode in consciousness and heart and like soul and everything. And the ego's just like, whoa, hold your horses. um, what if we just wait for a little bit? Like, what if I just put up a couple of blockages for you? Because it might be safer that way. Because if you never succeed, then you can never fail, right? So, it's like nice logic for being logic. Um, and so, as you start to see things unraveling for you this week, also pay special attention to the ego. It's don't ignore it. Don't say quiet down. I have a miracle to manifest. But more, what's coming up for me ego wise? Why would having my dreams come true be a scary thing for me? And really look into it because we don't want to create those blockages for ourselves. Um, if I got everything I ever wanted, why would that make me anxious? Why would that make me scared? Why would I actually want to put that off till later? And these are all wonderful questions to ask yourself. So I would say truly ask yourself these questions this week as you start to see the miracles unfold. In your personal life, your personal prophecies, because you are the seer in your life, so to speak. Um, and if you can uncover what your ego thinks it's protecting you from, then it's not as likely to get in your way. And it's not trying to get in your way, it thinks it's protecting you. So if you could disarm it and show it that it's doing more harm than good by going in and seeing where it's getting its information from, then we could remove those blockages and we could truly step into some pretty awesome stuff for us personally this week. So let's take a look at that archetype here. We have worship at the temple. So wherever you feel that you drop into your heart space most, like really connect to your soul, really listen, so that you can be cognizant when these things are unfolding in your life, when you're really dropping into this space right here. Go out and go find that space. It could be just meditating in your bed, and that's where you feel like you can, tap in. For some people, it's going to church. For some people, it's going out into the forest and, connecting there. But definitely find a place and set aside that time for yourself because you're worth it. You are part of the collective consciousness. You are as worthy as every other human being on this planet to find a time to really feel and hear, really listen. What's coming up for me fear wise and what's coming up for me excitement wise. Like, why am I super excited about this? And why might this also fill me with a little bit of dread? And just understanding it so that you have clarity moving forward and so that you can just enjoy it, as it reveals itself. Okay. Let's see. Let's go back here to some of your comments. John said, the chariot is what I got. It feels like moving in your personal cosmos. Definitely. Yes. Yes. Um, and Roger says the grays might be us in the future. I have seen that. Yes, when I did a channeling of the tall grays, I believe. Wasn't the little shorty ones, but yes, the tall grays, um, or a certain aspect of them. I don't want to speak for all of them because some are positive, some are negative. Um, but in terms of like negative polarity, tall grays, they have stated that their timeline is the timeline for many of us, but not all of us in the future. The kind that have like decided to give up the heart space and go more into the logos, go more into the technology, become one with the technology to the point where they lost the ability to reproduce. Hence why they're going back to get their ancestors' DNA. Let's see. Lilith says, "I've been finding feathers all over when I go on my walks." That's awesome. For me, for me personally, seeing feathers is like my ancestors speaking to me, and it's also for me the blue avians, just like hello. In fact, I saw a feather yesterday, and it belonged to a northern flicker, and they have very distinct feathers. I mean, there's a lot of bird species out there with very distinct feathers, but their feathers are bright orange and black and white. So when they flap their wings and you see them, they don't look like much when their wings are down, but once you see them up in the sky, like the under part of their wing is like bright orange and it's beautiful. So I have quite a few of those feathers, and I saw one of them outside. Kind of one of the storage containers where I keep all my stuff for a desert cauldron, all my shop stuff, and it was right there, and I was like, I'm like, hello, Northern Flicker. Hello, guys. Hello, Blue Avians. Hello, ancestors. John says, oh, yeah, Roger, my wife thinks they're us. And Roger says, or maybe not, or maybe just different brands of humanoids. It could be all. All is one. All timelines exist. Costalini says, I got pain in my solar plexus right before you showed that card. Freaky. Really? Ooh, Costalini getting ready to stand in his power this week. Mind over numbers says, space coffee. It's it's out of this world. I'll go sit down now. Nice. It is. John says, on the Toth chariot, there's a bullseye at the charioteer's solar plexus. Dude, the synchronicities during this live chat, I say synchronicities during these live chats is off the charts. It's out of this world. And Time Harvest says, can't stop not seeing you as that blue avian. I wish I kind of looked like a bird. That'd be great. I wish I could fly like a bird. I've always wanted to fly since I was like a little kid. I thought if I had one superpower, I wanted to be like Supergirl or Superman. I just wanted to fly. And I didn't want to have any sort of apparatus to be able to do it. I just want to decide, I'm going to go fly to my friend's house. Up I go. But who knows? Someday we'll finally be able to do that. Wink. John said, I pulled the 9 of coins, 9 of wands, and 10 of swords. Ooh, more swords. Empress, bottom of the deck. I've been getting her a lot as well. It feels like having the resources and energy needed to accomplish and the potential for getting stuck in your head. Yes. And also with that number 9 being the number of abundance and creation, that even though we're literally creating our reality every second, millisecond of our day. With this, for so many people, going into this like next chapter, this like next thing, next big thing, this aha moment, next awakening level, that's happening for people this week in their own individual ways. Um, it feels like whatever your heart's leaning into is like tenfold. Whatever the ego's leaning into is also tenfold. So it's gonna be intense. And however people feel that intensity, again, is going to be different from person to person. Costalini says, kind of like getting stabbed. Oh my goodness. Yeah, let's not get stabbed in the solar plex eye. Um, oh, Costalini, now that you talk about getting stabbed, not that I got stabbed or anything, but yesterday, yeah, it was no, yesterday, the day before, um, I was having such pains in my little tummy tum tum. It truly felt like I was getting stabbed right in the solar plexus. It was like, what side was that on? It was on my right side. It was like right there. It hurt so bad, and I don't think I had eaten anything that could have caused that. It could be female things, but it was, yeah, it was intense. So it's interesting. You also feeling that stab in the solar plexus. Well, before this live chat started, my hearing was doing weird things, where you get like the ringing in the ear. But I know I don't have any wax in my ears because I just clean my ears. But and I don't have tinnitus or anything like that. So but it was like it was buzzing in the left ear first, and then the right started buzzing. Then they were both buzzing, and then it was like my hearing went out, and I was underwater, and that's been kind of going out on and off. And then as soon as the live chat started, that went away. So I don't know, some interesting energies out there. And John says the Empress hidden under the deck reminds us, even when we don't see the abundance, it's there. Take time to feel into it. 100% agree. Yes, 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 yes to that. And Time Harvest says, I would imagine the modern blue avians don't fly anymore, right? Um, I guess the way we would see it as humans, it would be like them flying. For them, they probably would just see it as like, I want to be over there. Boom, they're over there. They didn't need to like fly to get over there. They're just over there now. I'm on the timeline where I'm standing over there. Boom, I'm on that timeline. And that would be great if we could get ourselves to that point. And I think we do. We just don't notice it, where it's like subconscious. I'm going to be on this timeline now then. Boop, I'm in the left lane now. Time Harvest is probably just use technology. It could be a mix of technology or just their soul technology, so to speak. Aesthetics says, hi Tara, could you do a channeling on numerology in general, like 1, 9, 11, 22, 33? That is a fantastic idea, and one where I think I can remember that, because I actually keep it on my phone, a running list. Actually, I could put it on my phone. Ha ha, because I'm not using my phone right now. Ha 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 ha. I'm gonna put that on there right now. I have a notes list. Oh, and that list popped right up. So hold on, so you guys can see or not see. You can see that there is something there on my phone. Anyway, there's a whole long list of every suggestion every person has ever given me on social media to channel. I listen to you guys. I take you guys very seriously. So I am going to put in your suggestion right now, numerology. Numerology. Because I think that would be fantastic. Especially because one of my numerological numbers that likes to follow me around wherever I go is 911. Sometimes it comes in as 1911 or 911, but 911 has followed me since like 2018. It just won't leave me alone. Let's see. Time Harvest is pregnancy confirmed for who? My goodness. Costalini says, ringing in the ears and feeling like you're being stabbed. I just hear the Bashar voice going, how exciting. Dude, when you say that, I can hear his voice too. How exciting. Actually, it is kind of exciting. I mean, not not feeling like you're getting stabbed, but you know something energetically is going on and you're like, ooh, there's a little shift happening. Okay, all right. Time Harvest says even the phone has become a space phone. Space phone. Oh wait. Oh no, you could see it here. You just couldn't see it on this side. Hmm. Interesting. Mind Over Number says, on my channel, I speak on the esoteric aspects of numerology as a whole, along with tarot. So that's funny that was mentioned. Interesting. Um, let's see. If you is Mind Over Number the name of your YouTube channel? If not, put the name of your channel so people can go over there and go check out your videos. Definitely. Okay. All right. Well, party on, Wayne, party on, Garth. Another interesting week cooked up for us. But remember to go out and find wherever it is that you feel really connected to your heart space, your soul space. Again, whether it's being out in the forest, if it's out in the middle of a lake, if it's in a church, if it's among family, if it's there sitting on your bed and meditating, find some place to really dive in and feel into what the ego is saying and feel into what your soul is saying. And sometimes it's not going to sound like words. That's not how we all receive intuition. It might just be a feeling, a knowing, maybe some visuals, maybe a song pops into your head that will help you to discern the path moving forward this week and noticing when your ego might be blocking you. And instead of getting upset at it, just try to understand why it's doing that so that you can unblock it and just have like your just reign of the number 9, the abundance just falling all over you. So awesome. Okay, let me put these cards away and let's get into our channeling. Okay, so Mind Over Number, so that's it. Okay, so head over to Mind Over Number at some point and check out those videos. Check out the videos on numerology, and maybe give a subscribe. I think that would be awesome. Time Harvest said, so Tara, next videos will be channeling Andromedans and Sasquatch. Maybe. You know what? Actually, somebody asked for, this was another suggestion that I wrote down on my phone. Somebody wanted to know what the connection was between, they felt like there was a connection between Sasquatch, ETs, those two. Some people also felt like werewolves, or kind of like canine energy, where it seems like it's part human, part canine. What they have to do with Sasquatch and what they have to do with ETs. So, dogmen, yes, dogmen. What connection that might all have. It might seem like there's no connection at all. Some people feel that there is a connection, so I think that would also be a wonderful channeling. So what the heck do ETs have in common with Sasquatch, have in common with the dogmen? That would be interesting. Okay, so just making room on my little table here because we are going to get into our Andromedan channeling. And like I said, I don't know who or what is coming forward. Maybe it's going to be those crystalline beings because I like them. I vibe with them. But of course, yes, I should definitely not always be in my comfort zone. I should be definitely open to anything that comes through, even if I don't vibe with it, because it's all information and it's all learning. Okay, so on that note, let's have a little tea. Time Harvest is channeling to me is very hard because I start thinking I'm making stuff up and it becomes tiresome, almost like when we are young and talk about our imaginary friend who we're told that isn't real. For me, it just took a lot of practice because trust me, I mean, I have an ego and I haven't gotten rid of it. So it's still there. And it used to be really loud where it's like, you're probably just making it up. I was like, but if I was making it up, how could I like make up something that's true like every time? So that can't be coming from my ego. That has to be coming from source, divine higher self, you know, definitely not my ego. And so I had to trust in that. And it just took doing it over and over and over again until the ego is like just that whisper in the background, hey, but what if it's not real? And I'm like, ahoy, go to sleep. um, Roger says Sasquatch can talk to trees. They are better than us. Well, remember that they're also us. So perhaps we just need to reconnect to the aspect of ourselves that remembers how to talk to trees. And maybe we just don't remember at this time. Mind over number, you are absolutely welcome. And Time Harvest says, ooh, the Andromedan channeling is today in the live. Yes, yes, yes. Um, Lilith says, I always get confused about how to calculate life path numbers. Any tips? Sure. I mean, I think it depends on, it seems like everybody finds a different way to find their life path number, and it ends up being like a different number depending on the system. So for me, it I guess it could be a few different ways. I could get my card for this year, like my number for this year. I say card because sometimes I equate it to tarot cards, but really I'm just looking for the number. So let's take my birth date, 6/10/81. So 6/10/1981. I would say 006, so 0 plus 6 plus 1 plus 0 because 10. We're breaking everything down into like single digits. So 0 plus 6 plus 1 plus 0 plus we have to break up 1981, right? So 1 plus 9 plus 8 plus 1 equals, and it could give you a number. And that could be one way of getting your number. And then if that number is a double digit, you would simplify it even further. So let's say my number came out to 17, but I want to get it to a single digit, then I'd add 1 plus 7, and then I would get the number 8. And you could equate that to tarot, you could equate it to numerology, or whatever your belief system is. Other people, let's say like they want their number for this year, then I would take my birth date again, June 10th, so 0 plus 6 plus 1 plus 0 plus this year, 2020. So I go 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 5. And then again, if it's a double digit, I would simplify it until I get a single digit. So you could do it that way. I think there are some people that also incorporate like degrees of planetary alignments, into their numerological number. But for me, I've kind of just done it that way. So I did my birthday and got my number that way. So 0 plus 6 plus 1 plus 0 plus 1 plus 9 plus 8 plus 1. And then I got my number, which would come out to 17, I believe. And then 1 plus 7 is 8, which is why I said earlier that the strength card was my card. I am a life path 8. But it all depends on the system. Some people have different ways of doing that and coming out with different numbers. So I guess it's just whatever really resonates for you. And for me, 8 feels like my number. It just kind of feels that way. But yeah, if you guys have other ways of doing it, definitely put that in the chat. Mind over number says the life path is just a sum of your birth date. So month plus day plus year. But depending on the equation used, reveals layers to that single digit or base number of 1 through 9. Well said, well said. Mind over number says some systems only recognize master numbers, which is 11 through 33, but I look at 44 through 99 in my practice. Fascinating. Very fascinating. And mind over number, do you talk about this on your channel? Because that would be really cool to look into. John Gross says, I feel like your community makes a difference. Well, I'm not saying you should seek out people who confirm your delusions. Surrounding yourself with people who don't discount you offhand for developing your spiritual talents. I was thinking about that actually before the live chat started, maybe an hour before. And I was thinking about how diverse our community is. And although it feels good to my ego, I will say, when I feel something and somebody else says, "Oh, I felt that way too." It's like affirming, not only I would say to the soul, like, "Oh, hey, hello, soul to soul, we have something in common," but also feels good to the ego as well. But I also, what I love about this community is that we don't all see eye to eye. I like that we have different backgrounds, that we have different beliefs and different perspectives. Like with here, like with the numerology, how I see numerology might be different. How Mind Over Number sees numerology, which might be different than what our friend Lilith was saying about numerology. That, but we could talk about it and we can express these ideas without saying, "No, you're wrong." It's my way or the highway. Like, yeah, I like that we can contemplate, the beliefs of others, and be like, okay, that's something to meditate on, or I hadn't seen that perspective before. And I like how just open everybody is here, and that's why I love doing these Sunday live chats. That's why I like hanging out with you guys, because it's not because I'm surrounded by people who just like are, yes ma'am, yes ma'am, you're right, um, but because we can all talk and be open, and we don't have to feel like, oh, if I say this I might offend the people in the chat, or somebody in the chat's like, oh, I don't want to offend the person doing the live chat. That we can just say stuff, be open. That's what this whole thing is about. That's what this, for me, this journey is all about, is gaining new perspectives, seeing things differently, like blowing your mind, to grow. And we can't grow without a little, you know, friction, so to speak, mental friction, because that's how we grow our muscles too. All right, let's see. Lilith says, let's say your first two digits equate to 11. Do you add it if you get another 11, or do you keep it as single digits? It says, or does it all equate to 22? Let's say your first two digits. Oh, okay. So let's say if you got a number 11. Well, yeah, I guess again, that would depend on the system. For Mind Over Number, I think that person would keep the number 11. For me, I would break it down into a single digit. So I'd say 1 plus 1 is 2. And so I would probably go with the 2 number. But I guess it really just depends on you, and what system you would like to use, or what feels right. Um, Emrez Phoenix says, GG33 is the best numerologist. Is that a channel on YouTube? If so, definitely go check that out too. And Time Harvest says, that quote hit hard. How could I be making it up when in fact I am right every single time? And I always have to be careful when I say that. I don't want to say like me, Tara, is right every single time. My soul is right. My ego, wrong probably 100% of the time. Mind Over Number says, I do life path tarot readings and also connect life paths to tarot based on that double digit. So if you were LP 35 over, or 23 over 5, that's the King of Wands. Oh, life path 23 over 5. So 2 plus 3 equals 5. So 23 or 5. That would be the King of Wands. I see. Awesome. And Time Harvest says, you're so right about so many things about me. Even the last stream on the stray dirty cat in the side of the road. I've been thinking about it the whole week. Did you ever, I think you asked a while back, there was a cat that had gone missing, or it was a neighbor's cat. Were you guys ever able to find that cat? I always think about that cat. And Emers Lennox says, only 11, 22, 33 stays as it is. Ah, okay. Interesting. Okay. And Time Harvest says, I see 22 all the time. Only 22 ever. Oh, wow. Yeah, like for me, like I said, for me, it's like 9/11, 19/11, but that's cool. 22. I know for a lot of my friends right now, they're seeing like 11/11, 111, like everywhere. Like it's off the heezy. My number says numerology itself is like saying math. There's all kinds of math, algebra, calculus, geometry. So you can really fall in a rabbit hole. Yes. Actually, that's perfectly put. Yes. Just like there's so many different types of math. And it's interesting because math was not my forte in school. I mean, it was when I was like a really little kid, like I couldn't get enough math, and I was so not good at English. I had I got in trouble for having horrific handwriting. I couldn't spell. My grammar was atrocious, but math, I was really good at math. And then I don't know. Then I hit puberty and decided I didn't like math anymore, and I loved English. And my grammar got better, my spelling got better. But lo and behold, it's like when you practice something, you just like get better at it. So the more I practiced English, I just kind of got better at it. But it's funny though, bringing it back to math is because a lot of what I do, like Mayan astrology, playing with numbers, seeing the repeating numbers, a lot of times when I channel, numbers come out. So it's like I'm surrounded by numbers. And even when I was like, man, I don't like math anymore, but I sure do a lot of math for not liking math. So you know what? I think I need to go heal whatever that is that says you don't like math, because I think math is just like a part of us. So I must be denying an aspect of myself. Who knows? John says, I definitely don't agree with everyone about everything here. I don't even agree with myself at times. It's wonderful to see different perspectives and stretch my boundaries here every week. I wish I could like comments on lives. You know what? I'm glad you brought that up. That's something I've wanted to do. Like, I wish I could be like, hey, cool, thumbs up on that comment, or like one hundo on that comment, or like, whoa, you're on fire, but I can't do that on comments. Maybe they can fix that on YouTube, because that would be fantastic. Time Harvest says, I didn't find it. I went everywhere, but I live 10 meters from a school, and I found a place 50 meters from the school that has red flowers and a stop sign, but no sign. There was some cat food too. Oh, really? So the kitty was around, and I think, because I keep thinking about that cat, I think the cat's still doing well, wherever it may be, whatever little journey it may be on. And hey, Riley's giving John a thumbs up. Like I said, I wish we could do that. And I guess we can. We just got to go about it the roundabout way. All right, so let's have some tea. Okay, what I wanted to do, and I thought about, well, I could have a guest interviewer for the Andromedan channeling, which I did. Did I channel the Andromedans? I don't remember if I made a video on that yet or not. Or maybe it was just an Andromedan that came through during a video of something else, a channeling of something else. But I kind of feel like whatever it is, which I've been feeling is hanging around, just wants to speak. Like it just wants to speak. So I will let it do that. But if you have some burning questions, let's actually, you know what? This is your guys' live chat too. So let's get some like thoughts on this. Okay. If you would just like to have the being, whatever I'm channeling, just to blah, 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 do whatever it has to do, say, speak its piece, basically. If you want that, then just go ahead and say that in the chat. If you feel like it would be better to have somebody asking questions, and one of you would like to volunteer for that, then go ahead and put that in the chat as well. And also, if you have a question, I can keep a few questions in my brain before my brain checks out while I'm channeling. So if you have a few burning questions for the Andromedan, please put that in the chat. Okay, so 3 questions. So if you think that I should just let it speak its piece, then go ahead and put that. If you think that I should have a guest interviewer and one of you would like to volunteer for that, put that in the chat. And if you have a question for that being, put that in the chat. So 3 things. Okay. John giving Riley a thumbs up. Nice. Lilith says, thank you for the input all. You're very welcome. Costalini says, I vote, let it speak. Let it speak. Must be coming up for a reason. Also, if you could ask it about all the solar plexus stuff, that would be cool. Okay, I could do that, because it's actually really easy for me to remember images than like, so sometimes I translate your questions into images. So if I just remember the color yellow, that being will know what I'm talking about. I'm asking about solar plexus. So that would be cool. Time Harvest says, yeah, Definitely. Go ahead, start asking. What's your question? Lola says, what's the relationship between Andromeda and humans, if any? Okay, those are two great questions. So ask about the solar plexus stuff coming up and the relationship between Andromeda and human beings. Also very good. So those are two very good questions. If we have one or two more, that would be perfect. And it would also kind of be like my brain's limit because I kind of try to put myself to sleep. Not me personally, but I try to put my ego to sleep. And if my ego's asleep, my ego's in charge of memory sometimes, like remembering logical things. And if it's asleep, it has a hard time remembering more than like three or four questions. Okay. Time Harvest says, do you guys visit average humans on Earth? Which ones are chosen for that and for which reason? So if have they ever come to visit Earth? And who do they choose to like reveal themselves to? That's also a great question. So relationship to humans and Andromedans, solar plexus, and have they visited Earth? And you know, who do they choose to reveal themselves to? Riley says, would anyone like to be a guest interviewer? We can send you a link and put it up on the screen if you'd like. Yes, yes. Hey, around the cauldron. Hey, I love the cauldron. Hello, new sub. How do I get a reading? Well, for right now, we are going to do a channeling. We're going to be channeling an Andromedan, but afterwards, I will be opening it up to super chats and super stickers. It's just a small donation, whatever you feel like donating, and I will be pulling some cards for homies. So if you're interested in that, do stay tuned. And thank you so much for subbing. Welcome, welcome. Time Harvest says, Riley, I would love to do so, but no idea what I would do there. Do I just speak to Tara normally? And Riley says, you would read the questions and ask them to Tara. Oh, yeah. So people would have questions in the chat. And then, yeah, you just read people's questions. And if questions that you have come up, yeah, you could just ask questions. John says, sounds like asking those questions and letting them channel what they came for, or is that too much? I don't think it's too much. I think, like usually at the end of channelings, the only request I have for guest interviewers is have the being have the last say. So, usually at the end of the channeling, they would say, do you have anything else to share with us? And I think that would be a wonderful opportunity for the being to be able to say whatever it decided to come here to say, So I think that would be great. Time Harvest said, perfect, let me do it, yay! Okay, okay, let's see, let's get the link. So I'm gonna copy that, boom. I am going to post it in the comments. And then Time Harvest, you can go ahead and click on that. So, or copy and paste it. Yeah, you might be able to copy and paste that link. I hope that helps. So let me know if you have trouble like clicking on it or copying and pasting it. And it sounds like somebody does. Oh, hey.
Hey, can you hear me?
I sure can.
All right, perfect. Let's do it.
Hey,
Hey,
hello.
hello there. It's me. Hello, everybody. I love y'all.
It
The
is my
best, the
pleasure.
best stream. It's my pleasure as well.
Well, thank you so much. This is awesome. So, yeah, um, people will just post their comments in the chat. You could just read their question. Sorry, read their comments. Read their question, and then if you have questions of your own that pop up during the channeling, you could do that. And then all I ask is at the very end, once there's like no more questions, I want to kind of keep it to 15 minutes. So I don't know if you have a watch.
All right.
But yeah,
So which question?
yeah, when you get close to 15 minutes, like towards the end, probably just ask the energy, like, hey, do you have any last things to share with us? So that way it can say whatever it came here to say. I'm trying to think of what else.
All right,
Uh,
we can try that.
do you have any questions about like before we get started?
Um, well, let me fix here something. All right, say that again, please.
So do you have any like questions before we get started, like how like to do it?
Okay, yeah. So, well, let's get it again. So, 15 minutes to end the stream, right? I gotta ask the questions that people ask in the chat.
Mhm. And if you have questions of your own, you can ask those too, of course.
Okay, perfect. All right, let's do it.
So it will take me a few minutes to kind of drop in. So if you want to introduce yourself at that time, maybe just like talk about like whatever you know about Andromedans, or maybe you're like, I don't know anything about Andromedans, but I know a lot about Lyrians. You know, you just basically talk a little bit, and it gives me time to like feel into that energy, and then I will say okay when you can start talking directly to it, because at that point I'm checked out. And do you mind in the background? If
Oh, yeah, sure.
off your
Pardon.
YouTube is so picky about music. It finds any reason to
You
demonetize.
know, it's my neighbors. I live in this place where my neighbors are just blasting it, and well, it is what it is for now. But I'm gonna mute it every time the you're speaking, and yeah.
Okay, okay. Alrighty. I think that's it. So yeah, just introduce yourself. I'll say okay when you can go ahead and start asking questions. You homies in the chat, go ahead and put your questions there, and our friend Time Harvest will read your questions. And if he has questions of his own, he will also ask those. At the end of 15 minutes, we'll let the being say whatever it has to say, and then we will just kind of like I'll come out of it. We can have a little chit chat. Yeah, and then we'll do our card pulls afterwards. But I'm excited for this. I love their energy. All right, guys, I will see you on the other side. Okay.
Hey, hello there. This time Harvest. Uh, so who are you? In which frequency are you speaking from?
His dimensional frequency, Ayara, is my frequency name.
What is the relationship between Andromeda and humans?
You might find that we look very similar. No, because we are you. Just as you speak of those that you call tall grays being a part of your timeline, a future, so to speak. We too are a future. There is not one future, but infinite. We are one of your infinite futures.
Um, in which year do you think you guys will show up on planet Earth and give the help to humans that we so need? If you would like to tell about that.
We are already here. Many have come in human vessel, meaning the aspect they call soul is from our kind. We really wouldn't call our kind an Andromedan, but we understand what you are trying to say. We would say that our kind is more of 3, 4, 4, 3, 7, 4. If you could translate that into a name, then that would be. We have already come to assist. We assist because we are you. Why would we deny helping ourselves, our ancestors, if you will? So, just like there are futures, many of the species you consider ET in the dimensions, the variety of dimensions that they live in, they are aspects of you, a future version of you. And I do not speak of the human race as a whole or all the species on your planet as a whole, as each individual person is on their individual timeline. Some are on our timeline, 3, 4, 4, 3, 7, 4. Some are on a tall gray timeline. Some are on the timeline of the arachnids, the Lyrans, so on and so forth. If you are asking for a year when all would be able to see, my neighbor would see, my family will see what an Andromedan is, or a tall gray is, or a mantid is, as you give them these names. This will not be. Remember that if every individual is on an individual mission, they will not see everything eye to eye, and that is the plan. That is the reason for being here, to not be the same. If we were all the same, we would all become gray, but we have not. So there will be a large group of those who are able to see Andromedan because they are Andromedan. Some will see tall gray because they are tall gray. But you can change your timeline at any time because there is no time. So if you have seen this, you've already seen this.
Recently, some of us have been having solar plexus pain or stabbings. Do you know what that is or what could be caused?
Yes, it is a fight within the self, but needn't be a fight. Many have split themselves down the middle. They say, my astral self or soul self, the energetic portion of me, and the physical portion of me, my human self, my ego self. But if you think about it, is it not all energy? One you consider tangible and one you consider intangible. So In this solar plexus, we have become divided. But if you can bring yourself back into one energy, I have an energy that is ego, yes, but that is also a part of me, and I must understand it. I have a part of me that I consider soul. It is an energy, and that is a part of me as well. When the two become one, and clarity is made, and choices are made, the feeling in the solar plexus will no longer pain you. For the pain is in giving away your power to one side or another until you realize there are no sides. There is only one you, and there is only one of all.
Well, that was great. I got two questions in particular, as people haven't asked anymore, which is, do you guys visit average humans on Earth? Which ones are usually chosen for that task to be visited by you guys?
I suppose to reiterate on what I have said before, some will feel that they have already met us in dreams or in physicality or perhaps in another realm, in the astral. And that is because an aspect of them is us in the disassociated sense of oneness. Yes, we are all one. Some are living the life of a being, us, energy, from the part that you call Andromeda. So they connect with that because that aspect is also them. There are those that are also at our frequency. If you go into the fifth dimensional quadrant of the Andromedan galaxy, you can see this in 3D, but we exist in 5D. This might be hard to wrap your head around, but the frequency of that space in the gamma and the delta quadrant, as we inhabit both, there is a frequency. Remember, I said our species 3, 4, 4, 3, 7, 4. In that frequency, if you are attuned to it, you are attuned to us. You connect to us at any time, whether it be in your dreams, in your astral, or perhaps you only feel it in a stabbing in your solar plexus. But we are there, communicating. And it is not that we choose based on merit or what you have done with your life, but merely it is all frequency. And so it is with all things. There is no right or wrong, good or bad. Are you a frequency alignment or not? That is all.
Do you guys have any tips of healing this personal and communal rift? Perhaps also a practice that can help us to attune our frequency to a higher vibration?
Yes. And it seems simplistic in word, but I know in action, perhaps not so simplistic. And it is coming into oneness with yourself. I know that there is a great deal to be balanced on your planet, your third dimensional plane, your entire galaxy. But how could things be balanced if we are not balanced on the inside? And if you are fighting yourself, I fight my ego, I fight my soul, I fight the evil part of me, I fight the good part of me, I fight the light, I fight the dark. I'm always fighting. If you are fighting within your mind and within your heart and within yourself, your world will always be that of fighting. But if you can understand that all those aspects within you are you, whether you like them or not, try to understand them so you have clarity of choice on your actions. And in those actions, your world begins to change and everyone begins to change because you have changed. But if you will sit around waiting for the world around you to come into alignment so that you may come into alignment, you will find yourself waiting for all of eternity.
Earlier, Tara mentioned she felt like you wanted to talk about something. We would like to hear what you have to say.
Yes, earlier, this vessel spoke about miracles, you call it, something grand happening in this week, this timeline that you are on individually at this moment. Of course, those timelines could change, and some already have. But this is the connection to your, you call it extraterrestrial aspect of yourselves, whether you have connected to ETs before or not, whether you are open to connecting to them or not, is irrelevant. It is all frequency, and many of you are tuning to the frequency of your extraterrestrial self. Remember, we are fragments of everything, infinite fragments. And all of those fragments are a piece of what you call source or you call God. So, if you notice that there are things that the ego would like to fight, then you know that is where the oneness must occur. If you see something in the sky that you cannot explain and you find yourself trying to rationalize it, ask yourself why. This is where the fight begins. The rational mind and the mind of all knowing, omniscience, omnipotence, the everything, Alpha and Omega. So practice coming into oneness with the self. Every time you feel this word triggered, triggered by the words of another, triggered by what you see, triggered by something you feel in your own body, find out what this is trying to tell you so that you can bring it into oneness. Let it become a friend and not your enemy. Why would you be an enemy with yourself?
Perfect. What truth do Andromedans live by that we on Earth have yet to understand?
That we are nothing and everything all at once. And this is okay.
Are the Andromeda and Milky Way galaxy going to collide someday?
Oh, oh, oh
Oh,
my goodness. Whew.
what happened there?
Oh, I guess it was leaving.
Oh man, I think I just wasn't there the first time, and now I'm kind of nervous here, and I was trying my best.
No worries. Wow. What an energy. Um, I'm sorry I didn't get your last question there at the end. Um, oh, what did you think of that? So Time Harvest, since I know that that's like, your first time being a guest interviewer and everything, just like what did you think of like the overall experience or like some of the things the Andromedan had said?
Well, I felt like I was doing something that I'd never done before. It was the most intense feeling ever, and I felt like I just was completely nervous, really. But I loved the experience. It was amazing, beautiful, and I felt kind of connected to the being as well as he was talking.
Yeah, it felt this felt like a different being from the other, I guess, Andromedan beings I've channeled before and that I've channeled like personally with clients. Um, it felt like the crystalline being, but it felt like it wasn't so crystalline anymore. Like it was finally going into its, I don't even know what they're molting into. Um, but they say they're molting, like changing, kind of like birds like molt their feathers. But it's like they look like these, at least to me, through my perspective, like these crystal beings, and it seemed like it wasn't so crystal anymore. Like there was just this bright white light, and it hardly had form anymore. It was just becoming like all light. It was like shedding the crystal, which was like its form, but it seemed, um, I don't know, like the vibration was really. I felt like you could have asked it anything, and it would just be like blah blah blah. Like I'm willing, willing to share everything.
Yeah, but at the same time as you felt like he was like this open, he closed the channeling very fast and without saying bye. Like maybe was it me? What was it?
Um, it felt like, I don't think the being wanted to be rude or anything. It's just, it was like, well, I think I've said everything that is going to help people, like for right now. I like it doesn't mind like maybe coming back at a later date and doing a channeling, but it felt like for now we had enough to like sift through it. It didn't want to overwhelm us, I don't think. And it felt like any more questions and it would have been overwhelming, and people, it felt like it would have, people would have got nothing from it because they would have felt like, well, that was way too much information, too much for me to sift through, and then they probably would have forgotten it. So it didn't want people to forget. So I think it just was like, well, I'll just hop out and I'll come back later when you guys are ready. So I don't know. Interesting.
Oh, I see. He just didn't want to overwhelm us.
Yeah.
At
So like
first, I
you
was.
guys have a
Mhm.
lot there.
Yeah, at first I was like completely confused what to say, and I was like, "Hi, I'm Time Harvest," Like I was like, what frequency are you on?" Like, didn't know what to say, man. But I can get the hang of this definitely. I loved it.
Well, I thank you so much for, being willing to be a guest interviewer. Um, if you would like to do it in the future, like with like, it doesn't even have to be during live chat. Like if you want to make a video, like do it. I would be honored. This is awesome. I thank you so much.
I'm here all for it. For it. Thank you so much, Tara, for doing what you do, man. You're the best, man. Oh, girl, sorry, ma'am. All right.
Is cool. Well, thank you so much for being our guest interviewer. If any of you guys would love to be a guest interviewer in the future, you know that you can always email me, Tara at kittensweightsandtarot.com. Or if you come into our live chat, sometimes we do guest interviews. And so, it's great because people right there in the chat can pop in and do those interviews. So I thank everybody who's been a guest interviewer. I love all the different perspectives, the different questions you guys come up with. Thank you to everybody in the chat who came up with questions to ask this Andromedan being. I do feel though that it was open and like willing to share a lot of things, and it wanted to share a lot of things, but it felt like there might be a point where we've shared so much, there'd be too much for people to sift through. Like that's too much information, to the point where we'd just be like, okay, that's overwhelming. Like I've forgotten everything now, and I don't feel like it wanted us to forget. It's like, okay, I gave you some nuggets there to like work on, think about, meditate on. And so it just wanted to pop out, but I don't know. I just want you to know that it didn't. It was trying not to be rude. But thank you guys. Thank you to Time Harvest. Um, Let me go back here and see what some people said afterwards. Riley said that was awesome, and Time Harvest did a great job on the spot. Yes. John said you did great. Oh, the last question that didn't get answered was the Andromeda and Milky Way galaxies going. Are they going to collide? Oh, that would have been interesting. Perhaps might have to go back and channel them again at a different time when we can uh, ingest some more. Um, okay, so let's go back here to the comments. Um, doo, doo, doo. Costolini said he got us excited for some kind of event to come. Yeah, I know. It was like you guys all have some individual things going on, but it's kind of big, those individual things. Mind Over Number says, I found it interesting that they spoke in frequencies and we were also speaking in numerology, which is the language of the universe. Yes, it was like the, obviously, I mean, for the most part, my ego is like checked out, but it listens from time to time, but it's learned that it can't respond. So there's no point in it overthinking everything. But I do specifically know when the being was trying to like express like where it comes from, like where we could like point to it physically, in 3D, and like what they call themselves. It's like, but we don't, we're 5D beings. We don't have like a larynx and trachea and vocal cords like you guys do. So we don't really speak names like that. It's more like a frequency. So it was like maybe you guys will understand this. Like, well, whatever number. Well, I know it gave you guys a number. I don't quite remember the. I know it started with a 3. Um, but yeah, that's interesting. And Lilith says, I've been binge watching most of the channelings Tara has done, but being present in real time is quite the experience. I'm so glad you could join us. And everybody offered up questions. I think that was fabulous. And I know that it can be um, difficult, to come on and start asking questions being a guest interviewer. I know that could be like intimidating for people, so that's why I'm like so grateful for everybody who has been a guest interviewer, and I think everybody's did an amazing job, and I love connecting with you guys. I think this is great, so thank you. Time Harvest. Time Harvest is asking everybody what they think of his presence there. Riley saying thank you, Time Harvest, and everyone for all the questions. Time Harvest says thank you. Lilith says, you were great, Time Harvest. I was distracted trying to place your accent. And he says, I got my own accent because I learned English online with different people. Wow, that's awesome. Lilith says, it's great. Costalini says, you did a great job. I agree. I don't remember really all the questions, but I remember the feeling of the being. That's how I remember my channelings is I remember what they're seeing in their head and how they feel. And I felt like this being was very comfortable, like connecting with you and answering your questions. It seemed like it understood very clearly like where everybody's questions were coming from and the way you were presenting them. So very, very good. Thank you. Well, whew, let me have some more tea. Grab myself because I'm feeling like I'm all up in the galaxy. Oh, hold on. Speaking of galaxy, let me try something here. I'm gonna go to a different galaxy. I'm gonna be in this galaxy now. Just a different view of Andromeda. If you guys would like to do some super chats and super stickers at this time, we could definitely do that. Let's see, what deck would I like to use? I want to use my herbal astrology deck. So let's go ahead and do that for anybody who would like to do super chats, super stickers. And if not, we'll go straight into our channeled guided meditation because I always like to end on a little healing. And maybe I could tap into, because I always feel like, how do I explain channeling? So my channeling changes, it shifts and morphs, like how I connect to things, just like people's meditation changes, just like people's art, kind of changes over time, as you try out new things. And so when a being has left my energy, there's usually always like some small little portion of them still there. And it's not against my free will. Sometimes there's like some small portion of like, let's say a negative energy there. And I'm like, no, thank you. And I'll push the rest of it out. But since I like Andromeda beings and like Lemurian, some of the Lemurians and like Lyrians and blue avians and all of these energies, sometimes I just let them linger a little bit more because I like the energy so much. So I think it would be cool in a guided meditation to kind of tap into some of that's still kind of residual. It wouldn't be like a full-on channeling of them, but just it's all up in there. All right, we got some super chat friends. Yay! Excellent. Um, Time Harvest says, "You still got energy for those super chats?" I still do, because remember, part of me was on hiatus. All right, so John, our buddy John, let me know what question you have, or like a, energy to look into, or general message from your higher self. And then we have mind over number. Excellent. So thank you guys so much. And like I said, I have my herbal astrology deck here. Been really, I mean, all the decks that I have here, I feel like I'm really connecting to, but there's always a special place in my heart for like anything with plants and herbs. Probably take out my my tea bundle. Okay, so for mind over number, looking for any messages that would be much appreciated. Sure, sure. And then we'll wait for our buddy John, and we'll pull a card, tap in. My favorite part of doing, well, I mean, I love doing super chats, super stickers. I love pulling cards for you guys, but it's when I get to tap into your energy. And for the most part, since the way I interpret information is through music, I love hearing, like, it sounds like a radio station, like if somebody's turning the dial, it's like, "Brr, brr, 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 brr," like going through all the stations until I land on a song that my energy translates as your frequency, or the frequency of the question, or whatever the situation is. So, but I like hearing the music that's attached to you guys, is what I'm trying to say. And then we have our friend Calm Chaos. Yay! We'll pull a card for you as well. John says, "I'll take an elemental check-in. Any balance? Anything balanced? Out of balance at the moment." Sure. So elemental check-in. All right. Let's do that with John. And then Emrasthenics says, "Is there any practices to connecting to his higher self?" Sure, we'll look into that too. And then Calm Chaos saying, "Hey, how you been? We're just chilling out here in the White Mountains, doing great, channeling Andromedans and such." Okay, so let's check in with our buddy John. Okay, I can hear the song playing, John, but I don't remember the group. Um, it's either early '90s or late '80s. This song came out. Um, by the river. She used to walk along the river. Dun, 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 dun. I think it's by the river. Hmm. Anyways, that song is playing on repeat. Yeah, I swear I left her by the river. Something about leaving an old Nebraska town or something. Um, okay, so let's take a look into your energy. Oh my goodness. So I'm okay. Um, so John, I'm just like looking at you like as if you were an outline, and I'm trying to look at all the elements and the chakras and everything going on inside your body, and it's like just waters like pouring out of your eyes, waters pouring out of the hands, out of the feet, just waters like, and just feeling this need to purge the waters. And you may be thinking, well, I purge a lot of waters. That you might be rather tapped into your emotions, and sometimes if you feel like you need to purge something, you do. But it feels like a lot of what we were talking about for this week, it's a huge release, and it's going to feel so good. Um, and your higher self, being the cheeky higher self that your higher self is, higher John, um, is like, that feeling when you've you drank like 64 ounces of water and you've really been holding it, and because there hasn't been a bathroom in sight, and then when you finally go to the bathroom and you feel just so good, and you feel like light, and you're just so much happier, like whatever was, like the clenching of your teeth that was happening, it's just not there. It's like that's kind of what it feels like. Not to say that you're going to use the restroom for a really long extended period of time this week, but more that purging needs to happen, just like letting it all out, whatever it may be. And maybe, in the middle of um, town, maybe that's not where you want to have your release go. But what we were talking about earlier about like finding a place where you feel really connected to the self. So it could be by the river, it could be in the middle of the forest, it could be at a church, it could be, you know, but someplace where you feel connected and comfortable enough where whether you gotta just laugh maniacally or cry your eyeballs out or, do one of those what do they call it? Primal screams. Like go ahead and just do it because it's going to energetically help make space for some of the stuff that's coming in for you this week. So if you're looking for like balance, like that elemental check-in, it just feels like the waters, just like all that emotion, whatever that emotion is, and whether it's a laugh cry or a mixture of a laugh cry scream, it all just needs to come out. And but finding a place where you feel like you can do that safely and you're not feeling like self-conscious or anything where it's like, oh, maybe my neighbor is going to hear me. Well, then maybe you need to take a drive, to a place where there's nobody for 100 miles that's going to hear you. um, but yeah, I just feel like these waters, oh my goodness, my eyeballs my eyeballs get so blurry every time I channel and stuff. Oh, okay, so Riley said it was Hazard by Richard Marx. Thank you. um, it's like I know all these like songs, but I'm so bad at knowing names of songs and who sings songs. But I know the tunes to like I know like as soon as something plays, I'm like I know that tune, but I just don't know who sings it. So I'm glad that Riley's there. Time Harvest says, I swear I left her by the river. I swear I left her safe and sound. And John says, I did a workout and upped my water intake today too. So yeah, I'm pegging a lot of it. Wow, or sorry, purging a lot of it. Mind Over Number says, that morning pee. Okay, so let's pull a card for you, John. Cordyceps, revival. And here you have the bird flying up, ascending, just so light and airy, leaving all behind. So yeah, I'm really getting just like it's time to just let the waters go. So whether and sometimes I find for me personally, a good movie will do that too. Like if you're feeling like I know I want to have a good cry, but I can't just like make myself cry. And I don't want like something like sad really to happen to make me cry. It's like, but sometimes like you can get like so emotionally invested in a movie, and like if I saw the movie like Stand By Me or My Girl, it's like the waterworks just turn on. But I feel so good afterwards. Oh my god, Macaulay Culkin died. Sometimes that can happen, or if you're watching like a rom-com or a comedy or something and you're just like laughing so hard the tears are coming out. So it could be even that could be your space of like allowing the waters to come out, but helping you to just feel so much lighter, so much more open, so that whatever stagnant energy was in there is not going to interfere with whatever's coming up for you this week, whatever like is going to be happening. Um, let's see. Time Harvest is, do you ever have bad experiences with Lyrans before? You said you only liked some. Well, I've only been introduced to some, so I can only say I like some because I don't know all Lyrans, but no, I haven't ever had any poor experiences with them. I find their energy to be rambunctious, cheeky, wisecracking, but really like mind expanding of the ones that I've connected with, of the some that I've connected with. John, you are very welcome. Now I have that song stuck in my head. It's a good song. Time Harvest says, I think the Andromedans got this technological and nice guy energy, while the Lyrans mostly have that wild, more serious energy. Theoretically speaking, yes, the Andromedans are better to talk to. Um, I don't think there's any energy for me in particular that I think is better to talk to, because I like talking to all energies, because I think that they all have some valuable information, whether it's coming from a negative energy or positive energy. It's all stuff to like contemplate, um, and help us with. Excuse me. Oh, right. We also have our friend Costalini, who will need a card pull as well. Okay, so mind over number um, is looking for any message, and then that would be appreciated. So let's tap into mind over numbers energy. Let's see. Let's see if you got some music going on in there. Okay. Sweet dreams of rhythm and dancing. Sweet dreams are passing through the night. Sweet dreams are taking over. Sweet dreams are passing through the night. Again, I don't know who sings that song, but wow, some good music. Mind over number. Oh, okay. Um, your higher self says something to contemplate. Um, there is such a focus on the numbers themselves, the physical numbers. One plus, this plus this equals this, and it creates more. But there's always something and something to create more of something. But your higher self says, what about the stuff that we say is taken away, like subtraction, or divided into something? So, what if something is taken away from something else? One being taken away from, let's say, the number two. What if that can never truly be? But that's only something that's on paper. That something could be subtracted to something else. Because remember, the energy cannot be destroyed. It can be morphed. It can be created into something new, but you can't destroy it. So how could we ever destroy the number one or destroy the number two? There's always some essence or something left. So your higher self says, start looking into the numbers that we say aren't there anymore. The number zero, which is something. It's not nothing. And what energy is left behind when you say you've taken something away completely? If 10 minus 10 is zero, is it truly zero? And what does zero actually represent? What essence is left? What has it been transmuted into? Look at the absence of number. All right, that's interesting. Also, interesting song choice to go along with that message as well. Well, actually, no, if we put that together, because the lyrics it was stuck on is sweet dreams of rhythm and dancing. Rhythm has the metronome. It's got time. Time is numbers, and then you think about there's space between each note and each beat, but it doesn't mean there's an absence of something. It's just something that we can't hear. It's very interesting rhythm. So let's pull a card on that. And we have hibiscus, joy, And that seems to be reiterated as well. Like for me, I have a lot of hibiscus, and I put hibiscus into teas. And there are some people that don't like hibiscus because they say it's too. It's not really bitter or sour, but it has a like a dryness to it, and it's not super sweet like we might think like I don't know, rose or asmanthus or something where they're very sweet. Um, but in a different method, not pouring boiling water over hibiscus, if you put it into cold water, hibiscus is actually sweet. So it's like there's nothing is like really ever taken away. It's just transmuted into something else. So we might think it's always just this way. Hibiscus always just tastes this way, but it can be another way. We just have to find the equation, or you have to find the thing that shows us what we think is absent, if that makes sense. I'm like really trying to I'm trying to like really translate what your soul is saying, but yeah, I hope that makes sense. Interesting. I love hibiscus. It could be sweet, it could be bitter, it could be all things, it could be nothing. Aha. um, okay, so let's go back down here. I know that we have our friend Calm Chaos as well. Let me just scroll through some of these comments. Mind Over Number says, I have headphones on all day. Nice bringing in La Boucher. Oh, yes. All right. And then we have our friend Time Harvest as well. Um, Time Harvest says, no need to channel, just my contribution. Well, thank you. Thank you so much, my friend. Mind Over and Over says, that's exactly what I've been trying to figure out. Too often, modern numerology treats zero like nothing, but it's not nothing. It's holding everything. Wow. Yeah, so definitely something to drop into is looking at what we say there's no more of. Like, well, we've taken this away, that doesn't exist anymore. Does it really? Guess it depends on the dimensional perspective we're looking at, things with. Interesting. And Roger says that Andromeda being still on my mind, no cap, for real, for real. Yeah, I mean, I still feel the little bit of vibes in there, which is why I'm like, I'm still floating, which I think is why this is a great time to do super chats and super stickers, because I'm like super tapped in and semi grounded at the moment. Okay, Calm Chaos says, is my higher self giving me information about this program we're creating, or is it someone else? Okay, let's tap into that. All right. Okay, let me just. Okay. Okay. So is the higher self giving you info about this program we're creating, or is it someone else? Okay. Okay. I don't need you, no, no, no. I don't need you, no, no, no. I don't need your love no more. Release me. I think Release Me is the song. You said you never leave, but then you left me lonely. Stay there, boy. You keep it on my own. No second chances. No, boy, your time is up. I'm stronger, and I'm standing on my own. Own. I don't need your love, no, no. I don't need your love, no, no. I don't need your love no more. Okay. Um, okay, so the higher self is saying, your higher self is saying that's the duality, that the information about this reality is a mixture of both things. Because unless we're just a soul, like no ego to speak of, it's all gone skis. It's just us. just us, spirit us, then there's always going to be a bit of influence from that ego. But your higher self is saying that's also something not to fight. Because that's part of why we came here, is because we knew we would have an ego. We knew that would be a part of the program, because it was going to be the friction that we needed to help our soul's expansion. Like, we needed that growth. Otherwise, we would have stayed from in whatever dimension that we all came from. We would have just stayed part of source, instead of opting to be here. And your higher self is saying, and yes, even that has layers to it. Some say we were brought here as slaves, where our souls are trapped here. Others are saying the other aspect is we agreed to be here. Nothing ever lords over us. There always has to be an agreement at some level. So at some level, yes, we felt like we had a free will violation. I was brought here. I didn't want to be here. And the other aspect is that also couldn't have occurred if at some level there wasn't an agreement from your soul to come here. And with the understanding that there would be an ego, and the ego would try to create your reality and would try to create this whole earthly experience. But at the same time, it can't manifest anything without the soul. So there has to be somewhat of agreement between the two to create this reality so that the soul can grow. So in essence, it's utilizing the ego for that. Um, so I feel like that's why that song came up. Where in the lyrics, I don't need your love no more. This girl, she's standing on her own. She broke up with apparently some d bag or whatever, but she wouldn't have been able to find her power to be able to stand in that space had she not had that um, that contradiction, that shadow, that relationship. She wouldn't have been able to find herself without it, at least in that way. And so that's, I think, why they chose that song. Your higher self is choosing that song to show that um, shadow helps the light to see itself, just like the light helps the shadow to see itself. It needs each other so that we can understand what each is, and that each is creating this reality. The ego can't do it without the soul, and the soul can't create an egotistic reality without the ego. Oh, interesting. Um, hmm. Let's go ahead and pull a card on that. Well, that was like a big answer there. Whoa. um, and Comcast says I was referring to the AI program we're developing. No, but that seemed like that was part of it, though. That AI program, it's both of us. Um, it's both the ego and all the beings that connect with the ego portion of ourself, and it's also the soul creating it. And that AI can't come to life without the manifestation of the soul, but also it's the ego portion of it couldn't be there without the ego. And again, it's meant, it feels like, to help with our individual growth and growth as humanity and growth as souls. Um, and what we do with it depends on our individual mission and timeline, how we choose to integrate that AI into our lives. But perhaps it's like with the understanding that light and shadow created it. So how we use it, we have to be cognizant if it's our light or shadow self utilizing it and how it's utilizing it. But we have Palo Santo, guardian. Um, so it feels like, with the AI, 3D cube, 3D matrix, whatever you want to call it, it's it's all part of our best and highest good, while at the same time being polarically something else. It's both shadow and light. It's ego and soul. It's good. It's bad. It's all the things. Um, and I think that's what that Andromedan was trying to say. The more that we come into realization that we created all of it, the light and shadow aspect of ourself, the negative polarity part, the positive polarity part, the negative ET part, the positive ET part, the whatever dark divine, light divine, all of it creates it. And we're part of that. The more we have clarity moving forward on what we would like to create and how we would like our soul to expand, if that makes sense. Very interesting. Whew. Let's go back here. It's just like, wow, you guys always have like the best questions come up with just stuff that's blowing my mind as it's coming out of my mouth. Like I'm like, wait, what? All right, and then we have our friend Costalini says, for my higher self, this song will probably be hilarious. We're getting close to not being single. Last time the song was Cruel, Cruel Summer. Oh no. All right, so yeah, we'll definitely look into that one. Let me scroll down here. Um, doo, doo, doo. I know I missed some while I was talking. Costalini says, I feel like null is nothing. Zero is like an empty box. But what is inside the empty box? Is it empty? I'm sure we could find something at a microscopic level. I don't know. Just, yeah, I'm going to be pondering on that. So thank you guys for these wonderful questions. Mind over number says zero is source. It is the all there is and will be, essentially the last thing the Andromedans said, nothing and everything at the same time. Wow. And Time Harvest said, mind, so how do we use this information to improve ourselves, knowing zero is the source? If zero equals everything and one equals nothing, one must equal the experience and zero must equal the source. Whoa. You guys are blowing my mind right now. I got a lot to think upon. A mind over number says we all come from zero and return to zero. The difference faces 1 through 9 all collapse and expand into zero. After 9, we enter 10, you see. New form, but holding all cycles of experience from before. Wow. Yes, I could see that. It's good stuff. A lot for me to. No wonder the Andromedan cut out early, because probably knew that our minds were just there's going to be so much to contemplate after today's chat. Let's see. Time Harvest says, I see it mind over. And Calm Chaos said, oh yeah, I was talking about the AI programs, and said still good stuff to hear. This is true though. And Mind Over Number says, cool. I literally talk about this all day, every day. And Time Harvest says, mind over. And how can that help us knowing such? I find those number references a bit complicated in a way. That's why I'm asking. And Sea Captain is here. Yay! Sea Captain says, hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. I'm coming late, but I can't wait to check out the replay. Looking forward to starting off my week with this live. Well, welcome, my friend. And Time Harvest says, like, how can the number references be as useful? And not as useful, but be useful. I see. These are all great questions. And I love that you guys are asking, like, these are great. Even the ones that aren't super chats and super stickers, but these are all good. Calm Chaos said, thank you. You're very welcome. Mind Over Number says, by understanding the frequencies, we get a better picture of ourselves. The numbers aren't really linear, but cycles that we all move through all the time, separate but interconnected as one. Yes. And Roger Over says, will you channel another Andromedan next stream? I'll think about it. I never want to force an energy. I usually just kind of like throw my feelers out there. I could channel this or this. And usually the being that is like, hey, I'll do it, because just like with people, you can't force a person to like do an interview with you. It always has to be like, but yeah, I'll put my feelers out there for sure. And John says, contradictions aren't always a contradiction. Even conflict is holding your hand, trying to help you understand. Beautifully put, my friend. And Lilith says, I keep remembering a channeling Tara did with a female being who witnessed a timeline split, and she was explaining what she was experiencing. Does anyone recall which one that was? Would like to hear it again, but I can't remember. That was a channeling with the Anasazi. I believe that, yeah, because the being, oh gosh, what was her name? Um, I connected with her. She was a spirit or a being, a person actually that used to live where my property is now. And I connected with her, and she talked about the whole like what that looked like, her whole like timeline split, the whole ascension, and some decided to stay. And yeah, so I believe it was the channeling of the Anasazi. Um, that was a good one. I'll go watch it again. Okay, so let's tap into our friend Costalini. Haven't forgot about you, dude. Um, we'll tap into your music too. So wondering if we're getting close to not being single, because unfortunately we heard "Cruel, Cruel Summer" last time. Okay, so let's tap in. Okay. Oh my gosh. Costalini. I don't know if you know this song. I actually know the name of it. It's "The Sea of Cheese" by Primus. It's a hilarious song. Um, how's it go? I'm listening to it, but I'm like trying to listen in on the lyrics. Um, something that says when something gets rough and the stomach acid flows. Something that will have you down on your knees when we're sailing the seas of cheese. It's like such a goofy song. Like it sounds like a ship creaking, in the song. It's like really short. It's not like a real song, but sailing the seas of cheese. I think that's also the name of the album that song comes off of by Primus. Oh my gosh, such a goofy band. I like that band. Okay, so let's see what that means for Lerv, sailing the seas of cheese. Oh, okie dokie. So the reason it seems like Primus came up in that particular song, because sometimes we just know deep down when certain foods are going to disrupt our stomach. Like, I can't eat a ton of cheese because that'll give me gas, or or my stomach's not going to be happy, or I can't eat a ton of bread because like this doesn't make my stomach feel so good, or I can't eat a lot of Mexican food because I'll be having battle shits in the bathroom or something like that. But um, it's so it says that that's what's happening. Your higher self is saying that's what's happening now when it comes to getting into an alignment with a romantic partner at the moment, because your frequency is changing so much. There's so much that like your consciousness is expanding so quickly, because it's like you hear something, you're learning something, you're integrating it, you're like questioning everything, and so your who you are energetically is changing. So you're gonna have to meet somebody who's on that level. Not to say like you're at like this super high level and everybody's down here, but it's more okay. I'm at this frequency, and the frequency before that, I probably had like, let's say there was 20 people in your area that match that frequency, but literally the next day you switch that frequency. Now those 20 people aren't in your frequency anymore. Now we have like, let's say 15, or maybe now it's 30 people in your frequency, but it seems like it's shifting and changing. So the people that could come into your sphere are shifting and changing on a daily basis. The person that could have been your romantic partner, or at least get to know her yesterday, is not going to be in your realm today because of how much you're changing. And also, you're getting a good sense of people without, just looking at how they look on the surface. and kind of getting the initial vibes of like, oh, that I feel kind of good with this person, but you're really starting to feel into people. Just like we know, like, I can't eat too much bread. That's not good for me. You're starting to see that with a potential partner as well, where I kind of get a good vibe from this person because I feel like they have a good intentions. They have like a good heart and everything, but we're just not in alignment, and maybe I can't put my finger on it, but it's definitely something to learn from. So then you end up looking into that as well. Why isn't this person in alignment with me? Um, Around October, your higher self is saying for this timeline you're in right now, there's actually about 35 timelines leading to this October, um, potential people. I don't want to say a person because there's people. And you get to choose which you feel like what journey you want to take, like choose your own adventure. I think I'm going to start dating this person. I choose this adventure. I choose this adventure. So there's going to be a few choices on the horizon that are in alignment with you, that will help you for your best and highest good, and vice versa. You would help this person for their best and highest good. You guys would be able to grow together at the moment. But it would be somewhere like mid to late October. Um, and your higher self is like, and remember, don't go looking with your eyeballs. And the oh, it's October now. Now I'm gonna look every person who looks my way. Are you my person? Are you my person? So you have to drop into the letting the energy flow. Let things unfold as they will. You know, uh, let the free will have its day. Okay, so let's pull a card for you. Um, Costolini says, I'm going to listen to this song after. It's a funny song. Costolini says, so we're like riding this tsunami of frequencies, and then the waves calm around October if I don't try to force it. Exactly. Yes. Yes, better put than I could put it. Okay. Ooh, you have tobacco offering. So I feel like, just like with tobacco smoke, I'm not willing the smoke to go a particular way. I'm not willing it to like take on this form. Sure, we can blow like, smoke O's out our mouth, but what happens after that is up to the wind, it's up to the smoke itself, it's up to whatever's in the air. And that smoke has a mind of its own. So the same thing with you. It's not to say, oh, I just like give everything to the universe and I take no responsibility for anything, but it's I'm I'm looking into things. I'm trying to understand things. I'm looking to why I'm attracted to this person or not attracted to this person, and there's stuff to learn from that as well. But I'm not trying to force. I'm not trying to force the smoke, force the wind, force my offering, which is me. I'm not trying to force myself into this situation, but rather let it unfold and also be mindful of my feelings at the time, how I feel energetically about this person, light, heavy, how do I feel? Why do I feel that way? But yes, at this moment in time, in the, what did it say, like 35 timelines leading up to October, there's um, quite a few people it could be. So it's not just one, but quite a few. And then you get to choose your own adventure with that person, if you so choose, with your own free will. um, okay, so let's go back. You guys had some good comments. Let's see. Lilith says, I would like to hear it again, but I can't remember. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, the channeling of the Anasazi. But I believe they called themselves the Atul because technically we don't know the actual name that they called themselves. That wasn't written down. All we know is what other tribes called them, like the Navajo and stuff called them the Anasazi, the ancient Puebloans and stuff. Let's see. Costolini says, I'm going to listen to the song after. Lilith says, battle shizzle in the bathroom. Where I first heard that was in what's it? They go to White Castle. White Castle. that movie. It's like a stoner movie. Um,
Harold and Kumar.
yes, Harold and Kumar. I don't know when I channel too much, my brain don't work right. So good. I got no words. Um, but yeah, I just remember it's these British girls that go into the bathroom. They're like, this is it was that I got the talk of shits. You want to play battle shits? Just had me cracking up. It's stayed in my mind. So time harvest is mind over number. We're assuming it all, knowing we will return to source and become nothing again is self-fulfilling, right? And mind over number says, well, yes, in a sense, because there is no others, only yourself. It's not that zero is nothing or is an absence of space. It is no thing, nothing because it is all things. I like that. I like that. And John says, different kind of sailing. Yes, sailing the sea, yeah, cheese. And Time Harvest says, so we are everything and everyone. It's easy to grasp but hard to act upon because being on this earth makes us egocentric and individual. There is no ascension without death in here. Am I right? Um, it depends. Well, at least from my point of view, because there have been ascended masters that technically didn't die, and yet they ascended. So you'd say like it's a conquering over death. Because really, I think only that the vessel dies. But even in that, I've channeled beings where their vessel didn't die. I don't know. That's a big topic. Wow, that's a big topic. Mind over number so says if zero is all things, one is that first part of self that said I am, and two is recognizing the self by being its other, the first separation that we call duality. Yes, you put so much more succinctly and well said than I could put these things. That's awesome. And I get this. Yeah, I'm all for it. I love it. Costalini said, so exciting. Thank you. You're very welcome. And my number says, this thing we call life is just whose line is it anyway? We step on a stage, it's all made up, and the points don't matter. So why not have fun? Dude, I remember that show. Whose line is it anyway? I loved watching that show. Okay, a time harvest. I know that you said that your donation was strictly for donation, but I would just like to pull you a card. um, so let me do that for you, and thank you again for helping out. Lilith says, but even death isn't finality; it's transcendence of energy that's always going to exist in some form. Exactly. So, who is it that said it? It was one of the metaphysicists back in the day that said, "There's no such thing as death. Life is only a dream, and we're an imagination of ourselves." Is the quote. um, and I've always liked that line. Life is but a dream. Um, no such thing as death. Yeah, I feel like, like when we talk about past lives, that's almost like confirming that we never die. How could we have a past life and still be here if we died? Like death would mean end. I couldn't be here to talk about any sort of past life, or future life for that matter, or that we came here to Earth. So yeah, for me, I think death is a more for this how this world sees things, like we see it with our own two eyes. Like I was talking to this person, I was friends with this person, and now this person is no more. I saw them buried, they're in the ground, but that's just their vessel. Perhaps their vessel is no more, but the person is very much alive. Their soul is eternal. They go back to source. They live on, and oftentimes they live on in all of us. Wow, you guys bring up such great topics. This has been a fascinating live chat. Okay, so for our buddy Time Harvest, thank you, by the way, for the donation. We have Babin Sana with trust. Um, and gosh, what? Let me get it right in my head so I say it correctly. Because like I said, it's like when I when I'm really deep in channeling, like I have to rely on my higher self to speak for me because my ego starts going like blah blah words what words soup. So yeah, let me. Um, there was I can't get the line right because I can't remember it correctly, but it comes from the movie Dogma, and George Carlin is it's something that he's saying, and although he's saying it in a funny way, it's like kind of profound, and he's talking about basically like to trust and things like the it's knowing and not knowing like that basically like that's the adventure I guess to kind of like paraphrase what he's saying that like that's the exciting part is not knowing how all the pieces fit, but at some level knowing that they do all fit. Like somehow everything is kind of all falling together as it should be. It's just how, it's all going to work out. It's all for our best and highest good. It's all for learning. It's all for this. And at the same time, you know, I don't know how they fit all together. So it's like I do, but I don't know. It's like consciously I say, oh yeah, that fits together. But when I really try to think about it, I don't understand how this all fits together. And that's that dual nature, and then that's where the trust comes in or faith, comes in of I have trust or faith in my soul, in my higher self, in God, in whatever that this this is all playing out as it should be. I'll try to figure things out along the way. I'll try to understand them. I'll try to process them. And that's the fun, that's the adventure. But um, do I like absolutely know how they all fit together? Nah. Nah. Anyway, um, let's see. Just going, looking at your comments. Um, Mine over number says that's what first drew me to tarot was the meaning of the death card, which is rebirth and transformation. You know, my favorite card, and this isn't just because it was my life path number, but my favorite card was the strength card. Because to me, that was like the ultimate in light and shadow and duality, and that all could exist at once. Here you have, like, in traditional tarot, a young girl standing in front of a lion, and the lion does not seek to kill her, nor does she seek to kill the lion. But there is a mutual understanding that both are powerful beyond measure. One could destroy the other, but one could also aid the other. And they see themselves in each other. And it was just, and I love that it's the number 8 card, which to me is infinity. And also, you see the infinity symbol above um, the head of the girl. But it's this, it's like strength and gentleness. It's power and sovereignty, and it's like yeah. So that's kind of what drew me to tarot was actually that strength card. I like that duality, but and it's kind of like what you're saying with the death card that it's not final. It's something else. It's that's awesome. And let's see, Riley said, death is simply part of life. From the moment we're born, we're all moving towards death, but this is actually a good thing. Yes, on to a new adventure. I mean, what if the adventure just like lasted forever in this one form? We get to be, who knows where we go next? The adventure continues. And that's the fun part. All right. So if there aren't any more super chats or super stickers, which by the way, thank you, 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 everybody who allowed me to do a reading for them. And for our friend Time Harvest, who offered his time to help me with the channeling of that Andromedan being, I thank that being for coming through and speaking to us. And I thank my mighty moderators and my boyfriend Riley for helping out with this, and all my YouTube members. You see them; they got little colored kitty heads next to their name. My patrons, you guys that hang out with us during these live chats, just thank you guys so much. Thank you for being open. Thank you guys for having these wonderful conversations. We try to learn from each other. We try to like expand our minds and our consciousness together. And I love that we can have this space together. And this time. And Time Harvest says, death is actually exciting. Finally, out of the hard to operate reality, back to easier to operate self. Excuse me. Slow, choking on my own spit. Lilith says, in a moment of frailty experience in my life, I saw the past, present, and future collide in ways that made sense that I cannot grasp in this time and space, but fascinating nonetheless. Wow. And John says, you did a great interview, Time Harvest. Mind Over Number says, fun fact, strength was switched with justice in the Rider Waite. Yes. And that's also really interesting. And justice is number 11. If I get my numbers right, I always forget what the numbers the major arcana are, which is also interesting too, because 11 being balance, but also 8 is wonderful balance, eternity. John said, thank you for doing this. Hey, you're very welcome. Very welcome. And John said, thank you to the mods. Okay, so let me have a sip of tea. Maybe we could have just like a cool picture instead of, or I could just get out of the way for the channel guided meditation, because I mean, nobody wants to stare at me for the meditation. That's like so boring. So we could like maybe put a cool picture up there, or I could just, yeah, like that's a way cooler picture. See, I'm gone. You can't even hear me. Johnson, my wife and I have switched cards as our birth cards. Oh, wow. So cool. And Lilith said, thank you everyone for being present. Thank you, Tara. You are very welcome. On that, let's do a guided meditation. I'm going to, there's still, because of my own free will, I like that Andromedan energy, so I allowed it to stick around a little bit, a little essence of it. So I'm going to tap into that, which I've kind of already been tapping into for the readings, to do the guided meditation. I will see where we go from there, because I feel like the Andromedan really didn't leave. I mean, it seems like it pieced out of the channeling, but it didn't really go anywhere. It's like, I'll stick around a little bit. So I think I will allow it to do the guided meditation. That'll be cool. Yes, yes. My number says, hey, look, it's a picture of us, the stars. Yay! It's you guys. Mios estrellas. Okay, let me get out of the way. I'll guide you all in this meditation. You see me, know us. All right. Go ahead and find yourselves a nice, comfortable space, quote unquote. A place you'll be undisturbed for the next several minutes. You could be laying in your bed, sitting in your favorite chair, sitting on the floor, or perhaps laying underneath your favorite tree. And as you find a space that is most comfortable for you, go ahead and bring your awareness to your breath. Feeling the rise and fall of your chest, just how good it feels to allow the breath in into the lungs, feeling it energize us from our head down to our tippy toes. Just renewing the aspects of ourself that we feel depleted, tired, and we release that as we exhale. And we are fascinated how we can re-energize and cleanse ourselves and free ourselves from energy that no longer serves us, but perhaps did at one time, and for that we are grateful. And we do this with our breath, something that we've been doing subconsciously since the moment we took our first breath in this incarnation. And yet it's one of the most powerful things you can do in this physical form is breathe. And in this space, as we focus on the inhale and the exhale, we set the intention now to open ourselves to the integration of the frequency that we are most ready for. How each individual receives this frequency will be different, even though we might all hear it the same. But if you haven't done so already, go ahead and close your eyes. Just breathe. The most powerful thing, the most powerful tool that you have at this moment is your breath. We are open, we are breathing, and we are ready to receive. You guys, go ahead and bring your awareness back into your body. Go ahead and wiggle your fingers and toes. And have yourself a little stretch. Oh, I'm gonna have a little stretch. Whoa, that's a lot of channeling. Oh, all right. I hope you guys enjoyed that channel guided meditation. I'll let the Andromedan take over. Hey, I got to take over vocally. I always like singing, so that's great. I'm like, whew, I'm just trying to come back to planet Earth. Wow. Okay. Well, like I said, I hope you guys enjoy that. Let me go back and look at some of your comments. Time Harthus says, I feel like the Andromeda is still trying to figure us out. He wants to know what we're up to. This meditation got me some masculine tears. Beautiful light language. Roger Over is going, fire. Well, hey, you know what? I thank you truly, truly. Genuinely thank you for everybody who joined us in the chat and for all the times, people join in or, when they watch the replay, leave comments. I truly appreciate it. All the people that share these live chats, share these videos, all the people that have subscribed to this channel. I I remember I was like over the moon when I saw the first 5 people that subscribed to my channel. And granted, it was just my friends and family, but I was just like, oh my gosh, like 5 people are watching. But the fact that we're almost like at 11,000 just blows my mind of, people that are finding that what we all do together is helpful. So I truly appreciate you guys. Thank you for everybody who supports this channel and all the different ways that you do. And I thank my mighty moderators and again, all my patrons, my subscribers, my YouTube members, all you guys, the live chat homies, and thank you. So, and thank you for staying to the end, those of you that did with this guided meditation. John says, love to you all. Yes, love to you all. I will catch you guys next Sunday. Perhaps if it's nice out, I could do this live chat in the forest, which would be freaking amazeballs. So yeah, maybe we'll try that for next week. I'll put the intention out there, like, hey, Mama Gaia, give me some nice live chat weather for next Sunday. So anyway, catch you guys later. Mind Over Number says, peace, love, and light, warriors. Peace, love, and chicken grease, you guys. Peace out.